Hello, Dr. Tawana Worlds by birth, also known as a disruptor. Did you know that millions who grew up in poverty also die in poverty? Have you ever heard the saying, what good can come out of the hood? Well, I'm here to disrupt for just a minute. Yes, I was that little girl that grew up in the hood, grew up in the ghetto, single mother, absent father, eating out of the trash can just to survive. But I was also that girl that determined way back then that I was not going to become a product of my past. And now I help others do the same thing. I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. I help men and women from similar backgrounds find value in their own vault and create wealth from within. Hey, what's up, y'all? What is going on, friends? What's going on over here on TikTok and Instagram? Look, I don't want to hold y'all, and I guess I had tissue in here because grief is so unpredictable. It really is. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not in the best of spirits right now. I'm very sad. However, I had came by here. My original intention was to come by here and offer a flash sale in memory of my child, but I really feel like to share his story would be more beneficial. So like I said, I won't hold you guys here long at all. But I want you guys to know why I'm offering this flash sale, what it means to me, what it means to my son. I'm sure if he was here, it would mean, a great deal if he could look down and see. But this is Hebrian, this young man on my shirt. Today is his birthday. 7/29/02, my life totally changed. I went in to have this child, had a very rough upbringing, so I was in the streets doing things that I should not have been doing. I'll just say that. Illegal activities just to get by, but something was so different about this pregnancy. I did these things all the way into my pregnancy. And I had a lot of complications with this pregnancy for whatever reason. But right before I got ready to give birth, I had this strong tugging and pulling at my heart, at my spirit, like, I want you to stop these activities. And I want you to give your life back to God. And there's another story. I'll tell that story later on. Like I said, I had a very tumultuous childhood upbringing, and it caused me to be very angry at God. So that's what I mean when I say give your life back to God. And I felt that for days and days and days and days, not knowing that on 7/29/2002, when I went in to give birth to this baby, that I and this baby was going to die. I did not know that. I felt it so strong. I kept putting it off. I'll do it, because I felt like every time I rode past this particular church, it was like something was drawing me to this church. And I was like, I'll go next week, and I'll go next week, continue to do illegal activities. But I'll go next week. And then the day came where I went in to have this child, and I encountered a spirit of death. I remember taking my last breath. I had something called an abruption of the placenta. I was in labor for like 27 hours before this happened. But on this day, 22 years ago, not only did I die, but this kid who is now deceased on my shirt, we both passed away. In death, I met life. Before I took my last breath, I cried out with my tears, not with my mouth, because I could not speak. I lost all my oxygen. I was hemorrhaging to death. And my tears spoke for me. I said, God, if you real, save me. If you are real, save me. And 3 days later, I woke up, and I have been really running hard for God. Like, that was an encounter that it really put the fear of God in my being. There wasn't, you talking about instant deliverance from going on the block, trapping and all that, instant deliverance. Instant deliverance. And I vowed from that day forward, when he let me come back here, um, that I would run hard for him and that I would give him my whole life. And all I asked for in return, I'm going to get my tissue because this part right here is hard. I said, in return, you protect my children. Because my childhood was so messed up. And I didn't want my children to ever have to experience anything that I had to experience. Anything. And so I gave my life to God in exchange that you watch over my children and you don't let them endure anything that I have had to endure as a child. And I suffered with them. I went from living one type of lifestyle of hustle and grind, having everything that I wanted when I wanted it, to having to get rid of it all of it. And that was like one of my first hard tests. You bought this stuff with blood money and you need to get rid of it. So we was reduced to nothing. Start all over. But I had my children and I had God, and no matter how hard it was to take care of them and to be a young mother with 6 children with no fathers. Okay. And most people will be like, 6 children with no fathers. Many don't know that 5 of my children are a direct result of the R word. I was homeless as a teenager. I didn't have nowhere to stay. Every time I went somewhere, if it wasn't somebody's uncle, somebody cousin, or somebody violating me inappropriately, I was just immune to it by this time. Literally. It's just like, dang. And that's why I was angry at God. I'm like, is this my life? Is this what you put me here for? Every time I go somewhere, this happens. And so many people don't know that, but I vowed that if you give me somebody that loves me, and the only way I felt like I could be loved the way that I was looking to be loved, because I did not have that, was by having children. So I kept my children regardless of the fact. Regardless of the fact. And because of that incident where me and this child passed away, of course he was delayed. He lost oxygen for a few minutes. So he was delayed as far as I'm trying to even figure out in which area was he delayed. He was really a phenomenal child, a very smart, artistic child. This boy could draw anything and anybody at any time. He loved fashion. Um, so I'm really not even gonna say he was delayed. Only thing he was delayed in as a small child was his weight, his growth, those type of things. He had some esophageal issues where he would regurgitate his foods, just some things that were not developed properly, but absolutely amazing. And school did not interest him because, in the way, in the fashion that they taught it, it was not interesting to him. If he'd had a teacher that was, and this is no fault of any teacher, but if he had a teacher and if schools would hire teachers that could actually cater to the child's learning style. But when you throw 30 children, 25 to 30 children on one teacher, you gonna need them kids to sit down and be still so you can just make it through the day. So I don't fault any teachers. But and if you guys can go crazy on the hearts over here, it just helps me um, beat the algorithm and get into the For You page, because somebody need to hear it. It's his story. I'm telling it because he's not alive to tell it. As soon as he got to school, as soon as I enrolled him in school, the worst mistake of my life. As soon as he got in school, the phone call started. Okay, Brian won't be still. He's bouncing all over the place, being a distraction for the other children. I'm like, is this another kid? Because do he play around at the house? Yeah. But what you're describing is not the child that I know. And I know that children do things, um, when they're not in their parents' presence. So I go to the schools. Of course, he gonna sit down when I come there. Whatever I can to support to make sure the boy is learning and doing what he's supposed to do. And 2 months go by, and still the phone calls is ridiculously crazy, ridiculously. Can Ryan's adjusting his pants? I'm like, adjusting his pants. Okay, well, he's whistling. He's beatboxing. He's distracting the class. So me being an uneducated mother, they said we think he should be evaluated. Like, evaluated for what? We see this in other children. And we think we should take him and be evaluated to see, like, is it something neurologically? Was he born premature? Was his birth everything? They question me like they medical doctors, and I'm like, you know, um, there was some issues during pregnancy. His father beat me in my stomach with a bat. I mean, the whole entire pregnancy was very tumultuous and very stressful. So I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing as a mother to make sure my child get everything. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the experts, I'm not. So let me take them to go get evaluated. Maybe something is going on that I don't know about. Um, I spent 15 minutes with this quack. 15. He asked me basic questions. Do he play around? Do he jump? Do him and his brothers and sisters fight? you know, do we make friends? Do we have friends? Basic questions. And I answered them at the end of that 15 minutes. He was like, yeah, so we're going to we're going to diagnose him with having ADHD and ODD. I had never even heard of that. I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's attention deficit disorder. It's also oppositional defiant disorder. What is that? You know how you say, like, he takes his brother or sister toys and destroys them? Yeah, that's what oppositional defiance disorder is. When the teacher tells him to do something, he defiantly does something else. I'm like, okay. And I was ignorant, which just means that I was not knowledgeable in information, but I was not dumb. And so um, I was like, okay. And this child, because of the experience that we went through when I had him, God told me from the gate, do not put nothing in him. Don't let them put nothing in him. So I'm thinking I'm protecting him in that aspect. I stopped. It wasn't because I read something. It wasn't because I heard about something. It was simply a knowing in my spirit. We ain't doing all the meds and stuff like that. And so they was like, well, we have something for it. And I was like, well, what is that? And they said, we can write him a prescription for this and, give him this and it'll help him in school. And I let him speak just so I didn't cuss him out. I'm going to be real with y'all. Okay. Because now you talking about giving my kids something to help him. Now I got the remedy for him. I know how to control him. He don't need that. I know how to handle homeboy. And it was like, oh, okay, no problem, no problem. We just offer it. Made it seem like it was no big deal. 2 days later, the CPS show up at my house. Come in, wanted to question all my children. Are gonna tell me medically he was diagnosed. So you can be taken to jail for medical neglect and have your children removed from the home because he's been medically diagnosed. So I'm like, I'm facing losing all my kids. And then they trying to make it seem like I'm a bad mother and don't want what's best for my son. It was just unbalanced. And by me being ignorant and unlearned, I was like, okay, Monday through Friday only. I don't need it on the weekends. He listens to me. I don't need it on the school breaks. I don't need it on the vacations. Monday through Friday, for whatever reason. And not only did they make me give it to him, they had me take him to the doctor every month to test his blood and make sure he was on this medication. Them were some of the hardest days of my life. When they gave my baby that medicine, y'all, I never forget. The very first day he was on it. And because I grew up in a household where they did crack, I could tell when people was high. I'll just say that because I grew up in a community where people were crackheads, I could tell when people were high. Because I did activities that made profits off of transactions that involve crack, then I knew what how a person that's high operates. And my baby was so high, y'all. He was so high. He was so high. It broke my soul to see my son high like that. He came home from school. I gave it to him in the morning, so I give it to him in his oatmeal, and then he goes off to school. It's a long extended pill, so the whole time he in school, he's high. By the time he come home, he got between an hour to 2 hours before it's just worn off. But for 8+ hours, he's just spaced out. I watched him come home and take his clothes off the top of the closet. And a shirt is pretty big. He takes the shirt. Here they go talking about live restricted for some audiences. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I don't know what y'all got going on over here. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results because your live does not comply with the For You feed. They did the same thing last night. Do y'all see this? Every time I come by here, hold on. This their way to try to silence you. And that's why I'm here today, y'all. That's the type of stuff that hurts me the worst. Is that y'all gonna do this to my baby? And my whole family has suffered and still suffering. He got siblings that's suffering. He got grandparents that's suffering. He got aunts and uncles that are suffering. And today they bleeding extra special. Because today he's supposed to be 22 years of age. Today. Can you imagine going through something so traumatic to bring him into the earth and only for somebody else to take him out? All I'm doing is I ain't said nothing about nothing else except that what they gave my son. I ain't even said what happened from what they gave to my son. Y'all see that? And then have the audacity to shadow ban you, then have the audacity to not make this visible. Why? When there's so many children and young folks getting hands on stuff that could potentially, it's an epidemic with young people out here taking stuff, experimenting with stuff, trying stuff, both prescribed and street. So what's the problem where you can't educate the young people and you can't tell your story? That is what hurts me the worst. How you gonna do that to my kid and not just my kid? And then you don't get no justice. Who am I going to hold accountable for what happened to my son? Who? So his form of justice is me telling his story, and then when I tell his story, the platforms try to silence me because they don't want nobody to know the truth. If I gotta stand on a bullhorn, that's why when I show up and I say, this is the project that I'm working on, and this is why I need help. It's because of situations like this, they not gonna never let me tell both of their full story on these platforms. They not now. You know how much money Pharma makes? Now you can get on here and mock people, you can get on here and bully people, you can get on here and do all manner of evil to people. But get on here and start sharing the truth on any subject. So they put this boy on these pills that did not even help him. He was just so spaced out. He still didn't want to do his homework or his schoolwork. But they didn't care. They kept on passing them grades until I said, you know what? I'm going to sue the draws off of y'all. I'm going to take whatever I got, went and started doing Uber and got me a lawyer and sued the Los Angeles Unified School District and won. And won. They was to pay for the rest of his schooling in a private school of his choice. Gave him extra support at home. He had his own tutors. I mean, they had to pay. Not knowing that not even 6 months later, he'd get out of school and text me and say, we still going to Walmart, because he wanted those golden Oreos. And then I'm going to go shoot ball with my homeboys. Pick me up here. And while I'm driving around looking for him, because he's not at the location that he told me he was going to be at his friend's house, they actually went to another location right around the corner to play basketball. And my baby dropped dead on the basketball court. I didn't get to say goodbye to him. I didn't get to hold him in that moment. When I saw him again, I never seen this before. Like the color, if you look inside of a light bulb, the highest voltage of a light bulb, and it has that little bluish looking light, like lightning. His pupils was that color. And his eyes was just shocked. He was just like, what's happening to me? Even though I have this picture here and you see him smiling, this was him all day long. The boy didn't stop smiling, the boy didn't stop dancing. He loved to dance. He was so creative in every way possible. And he would have gone far, did great things, did amazing things. He would have. Once he passed away, of course, it was the biggest shock of my entire life. I mean, you wake up one day and everything's normal, and by the afternoon, everything is 1000% different. Your life has been turned upside down. And I'm trying to figure out, did them people just tell me that my son is dead, like never ever coming back dead? Is that what they said? This has got to be unreal. I know this is fake. This is unbelievable. Is that what they said? Did I see what I really just saw? Did I feel what I really just felt? And then they can tell me why, how this totally healthy, muscular build, perfect. I mean, the boy ain't never even been to the hospital for nothing. Huh? What happened to him? Oh, we don't know. We're trying to figure it out. In the midst of all of that, I clearly heard the Spirit of God tell me it was the medication. And I was like, what? And he said, I want you to go research the medication, and I want you to actually go and grab his medical records from every facility he ever been to. And I was like, okay. After I got through researching, before they even knew what was going on, I found out that my son was number 478 that happened to from the meds. And I was so angry. I was like, I've never heard that. Nobody talks about that. I've never heard that this had a potential to do anything. God, I told them no, and they forced me. But I would have rode and had me a prison ministry before I ever would allow them to do that. Ever. Then I read that once they own it, it's a lose-lose situation. They either gonna be bang bang to somebody else or to their own self, or they either gonna be, or they gonna have a bad heart, medically ill. And a lot of parents don't understand why I did the best that I could. I raised them the best. Why is my child on meth? And when I go out and I speak, the first thing I say, were they given any type of medication in school? Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Adderall and meth has all the molecules except one. I also found out that the foods that the kids eat have ADHD adjectives in them. You give your children Fruit Loops and they got green, blues, reds, purples. Give them M&Ms. all the colorful foods, and you're feeding them bowls and plates of ADHD. I didn't know this until it was too late. Now I had a lawsuit against him. My lawyer told me, and I don't know if you guys just heard this story about this man on a cruise who got like 21 point something $1 million for the cruise door hitting him in the face or hitting him in the head or something, causing some type of damage. And it was like really, really viral-ish because people was like, that was just overboard. 21 million for a glass door hitting you accidentally. The man said he's not the same and had seizures. They had to break bread and pay him, right? Millions of dollars. If I was driving down the street and wasn't paying attention and I hit someone and broke their leg or their femur or something like that caused him to have rods and affected their ability to, or their mobility to move around, 100% like they used to, they can sue me for millions of dollars. Medical malpractice lawsuits. There's a cap on them. You can only sue for $250,000. So by the time you get a lawyer and the lawyer starts subpoenaing people, doctors, and different things of that sort, my lawyer told me straight up, you probably walk away with zero. And I let him know this ain't about money. I'll make my own money. This is about justice. And I want them to look in my eyes and see my pain and hear my voice and acknowledge that they did this to my son. And he said, okay, let's go. God told me months later, he said, don't go through with the lawsuit. I'm like, what? Never. They finna see my face. I'm finna tell them. They finna look at my children. He said, don't go. He said, you go to that court date, you will not walk out of there the same. Because they will never confess. They will deny it and it will rip you to shreds. They will say things nonchalant and, non-empathetic. That's going to really, really dig deep. Don't go. Drop it. So I did. And everything that I do, if it does not go to the kingdom, if it does not go to the edification of God's kingdom and his people, then and this is very rarely, that I will do something just to keep their story being told. They put together a DVD for his life. It's been 6 years and I still have not watched it one time. I don't even know if I will recover. People don't understand the depths of my pain because I don't understand it. I just know that it hurts so bad. And some days it's just throbbing. And there ain't nothing you can take for it. It ain't nothing you can drink for it. It ain't nothing you can do about it. It ain't nothing. And then what's so crazy is you'll start feeling better. Imagine getting ready to go to a surgery that was unexpected. You didn't even know you needed surgery. You just went to the doctor and it's like, we got to do emergency open heart surgery right now. And it's so urgent that they don't give you nothing to numb the area. They just go in and cut and you feel it. And then they take out all of your insides, your heart, your chamber, everything, okay? And then they just leave you open like that. They ain't putting nothing back. They ain't sold you up. Then every time you try to move forward, and get stronger and lift your hands up like this or whatever the case may be, you rip it back open. So it never heals. There's never no stitches. There's never no pain, medication, no numbing, nothing. No, it's just real, raw, and uncut. Because sometimes I just can't imagine, y'all. I just can't. And yes, I know that we are born to die. I just never, ever thought that something had almost killed me to bring into the earth and to give life and to nurture and watch this little seed grow into a tree and then go produce other little trees. And you can see their lineage continue to grow, their genealogy, their family tree. And you never ever get to see that happen. I never got to see this boy get a mustache. He's just 15. He's supposed to be 22 today. He died April, May, June, 3 months before his 16th birthday. Sometimes I don't even remember what he sounded like. And when I force myself to try to remember good memories, they're always overpowered by the last memory. On that table, dead. Putting him in a casket. And then watching somebody ooh, somebody locked him inside of this casket and put dirt, lowered him in the ground and put dirt. It's too much. So I wouldn't want nobody to feel this pain at all, ever. But at the same time, I just wish somebody understood it because it's so painful. It's so painful. And you got to be strong. You gotta be strong. So I'm working on documentaries for both of my deceased sons because I have to. Both of them was taken out by that big beast called pharmakia. Even though their stories are different. I'm trying to get through the last few minutes to tell y'all what I got, but I don't know, y'all. Something in me just wants to shout, scream. Yeah. So I'm working on documentaries for that because these platforms will never let me tell the truth. uh, and their stories must be told. And not only their stories, I'm doing an anthology where other parents can tell their story. And without telling so much, so we don't invite unnecessary interferences or warfare into the situation. Um, our goal is to be able to be on a platform that have millions, I think 185 million monthly subscribers. Maybe that platform, maybe not, but definitely going to, this is my life for the rest of my life. Fighting for them, this is the only justice that I can even suffice to the loss, the heartbreak, the pain, the everything that this has caused, not only in my life, but in my family's life. Um, I really want to open up some gymnasiums in their honor, in their memory for other young children just like them. I want to see children who they deem ADHD, autistic. They put these labels on. I want them to have their own schools with teachers that cater to their learning styles and just leave them completely alone and let them be who God created them to be. This pain got to be purposeful for something else other than hurting me, for sure. There is no way. Sorry about that, y'all. There's no way that I can be in this much pain and the only purpose in it is for it to hurt me this bad. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. So the way that I keep on fighting the good fight for him and for all of the other children. That's why I don't play these politics. I don't play games. Because I've been a victim of the system. And they don't care. They're still making money. still writing prescriptions, still diagnosing. Because I found out afterwards that when the schools refer the child to the psych, there's a bonus involved. So if you're struggling to make ends meet, ain't making that much money, got a heavy workload, you go and refer Johnny to go see the psychiatrist, there's a bonus. And then it went off when you said pain purpose. Y'all can't hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. You can hear me? Okay, cool. We can hear you. Thank you. I'm so broken, y'all. I apologize because it's very hard for me to be transparent. I never had the opportunity to be vulnerable. I've always had to be strong. But this right here, y'all, this will break a strong man down straight up. And I don't know why God chose me for the battle, but He did. And I'm the woman for the job. And as long as I'm living, I will not allow this to keep on happening on my watch. But it really takes a village of people. It really does. I know I called for several people. Hey, come join me over here. Let me show you what to do. For the simple fact, everything is recorded, including this conversation right now. I don't have anything to hide. They already know what I'm about. Just like I know what they about. Who is they? The FBI. That Facebook is ran by the FBI. All of these people. I really don't care. I'm a law-abiding citizen. However, I'm not going to stop till the very last drop when it comes to my children. I will not stop. To be absent from this body is to be present with my Savior. So I'm not going to stop. You can't break me. You've already done that. I'm unbreakable. And because they know I'm unbreakable, it wasn't just, if I just told y'all all the hell that I had to go through in the last year, you wouldn't believe it. It wasn't enough to just lose your child. They've been watching me since I started educating myself. After this child right here passed away, I went crazy in a good way. It's like, no, I'm no, no. I need to educate myself because this right here ain't gonna never fly on my watch. I'm not gonna be one of them type of people that's just gonna sit back and take your non-disclosures and all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying, and go drink myself to an oblivion or harm myself in any way so that I I would ever be disadvantaged from fighting for them because they're no longer here to fight for themselves. Well, it was him at the time, just only him. So I started educating myself. That was the very first thing. Most important, I need to know. I'm even like, I'm going back to law school just in case this ever happens again. I'll be able to represent very well on anybody's behalf. So I started educating myself, and the more that I researched and found out, the more noise I made. So that already put when you become a threat and you have the power of influence, you become a target. I mean, I went through hell with social media, taking my stuff away, blocking me from stuff. I mean, I went through hell with social media, literally. But I kept speaking. There were people, I have a whole entire group that came out of that. People was like, you saved my son's life. My daughter is 10 years old. They was going to put my kid in a facility. I mean, just pouring. And then they start messing with me. And then when God was like, no, you finna turn it up and take it to another level. Because out of everything that happened, the only thing that I realized, I was poor in my mind and I was poor in my money. Because if my money was long enough to go put my kid inside of a private school, private teachers get paid by the parent, meaning they have to do what the parent is asking of them because they know their child and they paying for you to do that for their child. Public education is public for everyone. So you don't get no special privileges, no dedicated teachers. We fought them for IEPs. We fought them. Hey, do y'all want to help my son or what's up? That's why I had to sue him. I mean, the harsh treatment he got, me just like feeling in the spirit, go pop up and see how he doing today. And I go in there, my baby sitting way at the back of the classroom, everybody else having fun. I walk in what's up with this? Oh, he was whistling and being distracted, so we sat him back here. You will not. When they saw my face coming, they'd be like, oh my God. They already knew what's up. I don't care who you is, teacher, principal, y'all all can catch these hands about my kid. Don't ever think you're gonna do this one that way. Cause it ain't gonna never be like that. And I'm still in his absence. I'm still that same person. Every day that I can't wake up and see his face. This boy was my best friend. For one, we had a traumatic experience. So we had a different type of bond. But he was just my best friend. The first man that told me every single day, consistently, all his life, I love you, no matter what you do. You can be that crazy. Mama, I love you. If I'm in a restroom at 15 years of age, he's standing by the door. Mom, it's like my best friend. So they seen, oh, okay. So now God's like, nope, I want you to go and I want you to help my people. And I want you to teach them wealth building. And I want you to teach them how to come out of poverty. Poverty is not something you break, it's something you come out of. Because it was a mindset that got you in there. Even if it wasn't your mindset, it could have been generational. And when I did that, it was like, wow, the hordes of hell, literally the hordes. Because now you fighting old ancient spirits that had held people in captivity for hundreds of years. Who you think you is to come up over here and act like you superwoman and you finna release these people from my clutches? I'm finna turn it all the way up. Because I used to just do it for myself. My education helped me do everything that I've done. But the moment that I decided that I need to share this, it helped other people, not be a gatekeeper, it's when the flames got turned up. Like real turned up. People start showing themselves for who they really was. I mean, it was just a whole entire experience. It was very lonely. So people just start falling off. I'm like, where they going? They can't go. Because whenever he allowed sales to come in to get revenue, it wasn't revenue for me to go and just blow it with all of y'all still in the poverty mindset. It was for me to go actually make moves according to the spirit. This is what I want my people, and I want you to offer my people this and do this for my people. I want you to do that for my people, and this is how I want y'all to build together, and this is what I'm gonna do for y'all that come together. Okay, that type of situation. So when they came along, oh, she bowed and she got this, she got that, and then I wasn't giving them that. It's like, oh, okay, let's go away. People start vanishing. So that was the first year, very hard year. And then the second year, it was like the people that I'm trying to get to move, it was like I was beating a dead horse that year. Y'all see what's going on? Y'all see the reason, the urgency, y'all, what's going on? Come on, y'all. It was like I kept doing a whole bunch of overhand lifting, going back, lifting, going back, lifting. It's like, come on, y'all, man. We can't be this. We cannot be this. We have to do this. And I'm spending my time with you to do it, to make sure you do it. But the mindset was so battered. So battered. They start off with great momentum, and then mindset is just so battered, so defeated. So it was like lifting dead weight. Third year, oh, you want to help people? Oh, you want to help people get out of the situation they're in and get access to capital and investment opportunities. Oh, you want to do that? Okay, cool. So they start coming for my accounts. Accounts I didn't have for 10 years. PayPal was first. $56,000 in one day was now in their reserves. And I'm like, we need to hold this over here because your account is high risk. How is my account high risk? I got history. We 10 years in this. I was a nonprofit before I'm anything, and it still say nonprofit organization. So you used to seeing monies come in and say, what's the problem? We're gonna hold it for 45 days. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna let y'all hold that over there for 45 days. Let me start utilizing this other platform, Stripe. Now I didn't have Stripe since 2020. Making little reoccurring $97 sales on that religiously. Had a big sale go there. It's like, okay, we need to hold 25%. This is high risk. I'm like, well, is y'all asking them other cats, Grant Cardone, them and them other cats that do millions in sales, that their sales is high risk? Like, I'm feeling singled out here now at this point. Okay, 25%, cool. I'll just grind harder to make up for that. Oh, I did that. Oh, it was 50%. All the way up until now, it's 100%. Supposed to be held for 90 days. Peep game. When the 90 days getting ready to approach, maybe about the 83rd, 85th day, then they say we still deem the account to be high risk. Your high risk level hasn't gone down. I ain't had no sales, no activities. How it ain't going down? We're going to hold it for another 90. That is a way to legally steal money from people. And I'm not the only one. Go Google it. Stripe holds people's money in. Go Google it. PayPal, because I had to go Google it. Like, what the hell is going on? Then Cash App. I went from being able to send $25,000 a month because I didn't have my Cash App for a gangster long time. Never had no issues with it. Never had no fraudulent activities on my account. None of that stuff. I don't do that stuff. Then all of a sudden, now we're going to take it down to 5,000. So I'm still transacting on Cash App. Cool, boo, 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 boo. Now we're going to take it down to 2,500. We got drivers out there on the road, bro. This is how we send them transactions for gas, for blowout tires, for lodging when they need to pull over and been out there for several days and need to get a hotel and have a shower. Like $2,500 for what? There ain't even no explanation. So if y'all not giving me my money over here on Stripe, and then PayPal come back with the dumbest of things, you can only make up to $2,000 a month. I showed y'all the receipts. You can only make up to $2,000 a month that you can actually cash out. Anything above that will be held in our reserves for 45 days. How am I supposed to move, y'all? Not to mention that I got all this land, right? I can actually go, huh? I don't, baby. I can go once everything is, laid in stone and everything is set in the place that it needs to be in. Meter poles, all of that. You can't just go out there if you build in a community and you're going to have electricity, you're going to have water, sewer. We have a well, okay? Can't just go out there and start digging and building, okay? Once that process is done with them putting everything in there, which was supposed to be done in the summer of 2023, the process was starting June, July, somewhere around that process. Oh, just the meter poles need to go up and we need to dig the well. Okay, cool. I think maybe in September they actually started digging the wells. So they have ranchettes, ranchette 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 on this side, 12 on the other side. They're going one by one. We're gonna dig for the well, and we're gonna go from ranchette 1 all the way to ranchette 24. Then we're gonna come back to ranchette 1 and we're gonna go ahead and put in the septic tanks and go all the way. Stupid, right? So now you got the weather, and Texas is really known for the spread in the skies heavily. I got so much footage of them just, blocking the sun out. There ain't no other way to say it. Period. Point blank. So much so that you don't even got a summer in Texas. All these dang on hurricanes, all these dang on blizzard type storms, which halts construction. And then you circle back. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot. And the enemy's plan is to try to stop me from destroying his kingdom, for real. Because he destroyed my family. This vendetta is not against flesh and blood. It's against powers, principalities, rulers of darkness, and spiritual wickedness in high places. I wouldn't be a human being if I let this just sit over here and manifest inside of me and make me all sick and all of this stuff, and I never shared this with nobody. I'll be less than a mother to allow them to do something like that to both of my children and never tell their story, because they have one. I just shared with you a rush version of their story. But you know how many skin folks that look like kinfolks, children is dealing with that situation, how many of you guys right now know somebody who they say their child can't sit in school and they way too hyper? Y'all let me know in the chat. Y'all know somebody in y'all family. I found out that when your child goes to foster care and your child is dealing with parent anxiety or parent separation, first thing they're gonna do is put them on meds. And I was like, you know what? They not lying. Cause when they put me in a group home, first thing they did was put me on pills. And then pills had me in there cutting my wrist. Still got the scars. That's why I got these tattoos on my arm to cover them up. But you can see this one here. Up and down. I was trying to hit veins, arteries in real life, okay? All up and down my arm, on both of my arms. I felt so unloved, so unwanted. Everything about my thoughts was hijacked. And now they come out with a whole plan that says if your child is raised in poverty, the risk for ADHD is greater. How do you diagnose a child with having ADHD based on their income level? I want y'all to see something with me, and I'm finna let y'all go, okay? I want y'all to see something. Hold on, let me try to close down a couple of these tabs. Okay. Look at this, y'all. This is what I type in. How many African American children are diagnosed with this? This was in 2020. I needed to put in 2024. CDC study reported in March of this year found overall 14% of children ages 3 to 17. Are you freaking kidding me? 3? They're not even fully developed, yo. They're just developing a personality. Have ever been diagnosed with either ADHD or learning disability, including what? 17% of who? Black children. 15% of white children and 12% of Hispanic children. We the highest racial disparities in ADHD. Bro, this has got to stop. This has got to stop. Race and ADHD, how people of color get left behind. The 2016 study found that once diagnosed, children of color were much less likely to take ADHD medication. Just 36% of black kids. That's a damn lie. You know what you know how they get you? They be like, look, we'll give you the medication. Then they come over here and then they tell them, hey, you can get a social security check because now your child been diagnosed. So now they can get a social security check and then mamas be eating it up. I didn't had mamas come and say, well, you know what? It's not working for mine, but they give them a disability check. No. Baby, let me show you how to make a disability check. What you talking about? I can care less about them giving you a disability check, beloved. No, I will show you how to make one, period. Don't ever let them do that to your child. You can do your research. It's here. What race is ADHD most common in? First thing they're going to tell you. What ethnic group has the most ADHD? The highest rates occurred among white youths, followed by black. This a lie. This a lie. I don't know when this study. The highest rates occurred among white youth, followed by black, Hispanic, and Asian youth. For example, in the age 18 to 20 category. We're not talking about 18 to 20 category. We're talking about as young as 2. Because they got them on medication at 2 or 3 years old. Y'all go look up on if it wasn't a problem, all these articles wouldn't be in here. Okay. Prevalence was higher for males, 5.4% versus females than non-Hispanic groups. 5.4% had a higher prevalence than all other race ethnicity groups. They wouldn't have all these articles on how it's a disparity. It's always been, always will be. I don't know who reporting that, but that's a lie from the pits of hell. They're going to say it linked to I asked how many deaths in 2024. They're going to say it's linked to reduced risk of overall deaths. Stimulant users caught up in fatal fourth wave of opiate. Yeah, they lying. Hundreds of Americans continue to die every day from overdoses. More of those deaths now involve stimulants like cocaine and meth mix. It's talking about ADHD medication inside of this article. I don't know where they got this. Researchers from Karolinska Institute. Somebody don't even live over here, man. Get the freak up out of here. I know I had seen something like this in April. Adderall abuse risk becoming another opioid crisis. I know I had seen something like that. The DEA's manufactured crisis, overdose deaths. They want to name them as overdose, but I said Adderall. Just Adderall deaths. This is what my son was taking, Concerta, also known as what's the name of that dang old medicine? Ritalin. It was called Ritalin at first. Increases neither the risk of sudden death nor the risk of adverse cardiac events. This is a lie. Because this is what they give them right here, cardiac events. See how these lying? This is, look, cardiac arrest following a myocardial infarction. This is what they told me my son had. This come from the NIH, Dr. Fauci, who lied to everybody. Now you see this? This was in 2009. ADHD drugs linked to what? All of a sudden, cardiac arrest following a myocardial infarction in a child. This is what they told me took my son out. He suffered for myocardial infarctions, not knowing I went to school to be a nurse. So that was the only way I knew that terminology. Or they try to brush it off like, yeah, he was born with a congenital birth defect. I said, oh, hell no. That's why God told me to go get them documents. No, you're lying. He wasn't, this is just a preliminary autopsy. Hell no, you could go blow that up Shorty's behind because I'm too tall for that. My son wasn't born with anything at all. At all. Okay? This was in 2006. They banned this, Concerta side effects, cardiovascular and psychiatric effects on this medication. Can I even take it one step further? And they might get mad at me for saying this, but the young man who just tried to do what he tried to do to Trump a couple of weeks ago was on them, okay? And a lot of those mass dudes that go into schools and stuff, check their records. Because I told you, you'll either become pop to somebody else or chop to yourself, or either you'll become a drug addict, or either you'll become just medically reduced to nothing. That's the only lose about any of that. And most people don't know that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. I thank y'all for listening. When you don't have people to talk to, sometimes it makes it more painful. But one thing that does absolutely help me is telling people, because that's all I got. That's all I got. And so, in honor and in memory of my son, Ryan Raekwon was his name, is his name. Any of my mentorships that I offered, and the reason why I come and I offer discounts is because, for one, I don't have to offer discounts, but I do offer discounts for the simple fact that I will always, forever want to do business and elevate and build with those who I consider to be family. I have things running out there. But when I use the out there method, you have to have a website, a funnel, all of this type of stuff. You got to have a payment processor, which means my funds have to go there and I have to deal with them people trying to issue and deliver my funds to me like I'm a baby, or like I needed their help, or even asked for their help. And it really is frustrating because I have things that I need to do. Whenever the people come, the producers come, like I think 3 weeks ago, it was like, okay, this is what we need down for this first part. And like I said, I'm doing an anthology. So it's more than just my story, it's other family stories about what the big boys with the white jackets done to families. And so when you on a schedule, you'll get something released to you on this day. Like, bro, I'm like, God, as if the pain of this wasn't enough. Why do I got to deal with this? So when I say I use other platforms, that's the reason why. They really trying to stop me. And I'm not even going to say it's them because they're being used. It's the enemy. But I refuse to go down. And I refuse to stop fighting. So, I don't even know if I have enough mental strength to go over everything that I said that I was going to offer you guys today. I'm just going to say this. I know the money list is $17. It's $7.29. Any of my mentorships that was going for $9.97 will only be going for $7.29. $729 today only. Not tomorrow. Today is $7.29. I know it's late. But any of my programs that was $97, any of my workshops, any of my plays that was $97, it's gonna be $72.90. I'm trying to remember everything because my mind is, I still gotta go in here and try to go to sleep. And I bless God for giving me somewhat of a peaceful day. But when all my other family members, my kids, my husband is asleep, then that's when I gotta lay down. And some days I don't get sleep. Some days I lay right here in this room and just cry, try to make sense of this, try to find strength and pray for strength to keep on going on, because sometimes I don't want to go on. And I'm not talking about go on in life. I love my life and I love living. Every single day I get up, I'm thank you. I'm talking about go on with the mission. I'm like, I done lost so much. I don't think people understand how much I done lost to help them. And I don't see no fairness in it. I'm helping their families, and my family will never be the same. So sometimes the enemy tries to attack me even in that aspect, and I don't feel like it's just like no. But that's just another tactic for him to try to stop me. And so every day is a fight. Every time I show up, it's a fight. And I'm not after your money. I'm after your strength. I'm after the ability to come in and lock arms with me and let's do this together. For real. I don't mind showing you what I know and what I do, but I can never show it to you out here openly, ever. Not because I don't want to, because I can't. I got all kind of hacks and all kind of different things that will at least 10x your income, if not 100x your income. In exchange for my time to teach you and sit with you, um, then I do require an investment. Make sure you're going to take it serious. You're not going to take the information that I've had to pay thousands of dollars for. It was not given to me for free. Still paying for the transformational information that I bring back to you guys that'll make you some rapid revenue, because I'm always about trying to get you there faster and getting you there further, so that you don't have to spend a year to do anything or even 6 months to do anything. Anything that I bring is going to bring you rapid revenue if you implement it. Okay. So I had some credit plays. I don't remember everything, y'all. I really don't. But whatever you see in the description of this video on Facebook and YouTube, anything $97 will be $79.20. I think it was $70.29 for $7.29. Anything that was $9.97 is going to be $729. Um, like I said, the money list, the courier list, I'm even letting that go for $17. So the money list and the courier list, $17 today only. Anything $9.97 is $729 today only. Anything that was $97 is $70.29. Okay. I love y'all. I'm gonna go lay down. If you ever wanted to get in on anything land banking, remember I was doing that for $97. You want to get the land bank replay so you know how to buy property at a very, very, very low price. Um, uh, I was thinking about government contracts too, because I got government contracts. Government contracts is in there as well. It's in the description, but everything that you see is practically a flash sale. Is discounted, and it's in memory of my son. that his story will be told and touch the lives of many others. Give moms and fathers who have suffered this type of loss the strength needed to tell their story. Educate the young people, you know, how dangerous it could be to them. And if they're struggling with being on their medication, how to get them some resources. Because they psyche is greatly affected. There was times I had to sleep with my door locked. Not because he displayed behavior that was threatening, but just because I felt something in my spirit, like something ain't right. And then he'd be the only one up in the middle of the night. The mental status, I'm gonna go, y'all, because it's a lot. It's painful. It's very, very painful. But the end game is to save somebody else's life, educate and impact. In the name of Kid Bryant. I love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. And if I can be of service to you guys, then I absolutely will. I will tell you guys this. Everything about what I done mentioned, over these last couple of weeks, everything has gone up. Everything in price has gone up. The only reason I was going to do like a 3-day sale leading up to his birthday, I didn't even have the strength, the inner strength to do it. So this is what I absolutely forced myself to do. I never even go live on this day. It's so painful. But I promised my son I'll never forget about him. And I don't know what else to do but tell his story. That's it. And instead of me out here begging and getting my feelings hurt because people really don't deem what has happened to me as traumatic because it ain't happened to him. So people will pass up and post all day long. Oh, she just over there begging. No, I got something you want. You got something I want. I want to keep the movement moving. And if I could do anything, I would be out helping our young people. That's what I want to do. I love them if don't nobody else do. I'm not finna let Sexy Red and all these other people influence these young people. Children and young people are beautiful, and they are our future. And I'm not finna be letting fentanyl and everything else take them out. Enough is enough. I want to get a tour bus, honestly, and just travel and talk to the young folks in the juvenile system, in the prison system, in the hood. But it's gonna take help. Instead of me begging y'all for help, um, I have programs and different things that I'm offering. Good night, you guys. Good night, Sister Rosalind. I haven't forgotten about you. My daughter actually went into labor like 2 days ago. She's still being kept in the hospital because they can't regulate her blood pressure, which is another situation. Um, but I got you covered, okay? I'm gonna get that information to you. Any questions for me before I go? Anybody want to say anything? Ask me anything? I'm gonna end this live in 2 minutes. I'm gonna wait that long to see if anybody got any questions. Um, you know, wish I can take my brain out and massage it and then put it back in because it's just I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I really don't. I'm gonna get ready to go. Make sure take care of yourself too, sis. Thank you, sister. I'm trying to. I'm going to. I'm trying to do it a lot more. I've been implementing more self-care for me because I can't help them if I'm not helped. So I received that. Thank you. I love you guys much. All right, y'all. I waited 2 minutes. Um, I'll see you guys soon, okay?